Hello everyone and welcome to another horror movie review with me, Angela of Morbid Heart Designs. But it is October 1st, which means it's horror movie season, and I fucking love Halloween and horror movies, but you all know that, or you're learning that because you're new here. If you are, welcome. So how we're going to do it this year for 31 Days of Horror is I am going to count down from my least favorite movie I watched of the 31s to my favorite. And it was hard to decide which one to do as my last review, because there were a lot of good ones that I watched this year. But I narrowed down the list, and I'm excited to share it with you. Now, last year for 2018, I watched a lot of movies that were on a listing of a documentary called 50 Best Horror Movies You've Never Seen. And I had so much fun with that list that I've actually hunted down so far as many as I can. This year we will continue to incorporate those movies, and I have so many that we will incorporate them to next year's list as well. I think there's only 3 I haven't managed to track down either to purchase. That being said, the first movie I will be talking about today is from the documentary 50 Best Horror Movies You've Never Seen. This movie is called The Night of the Hunter. Now, this is a really old movie. It is in black and white, and it was done in 1955. Now, unfortunately, I don't feel this movie stands up to the test of time. Now, if you are into gory type horror movies, this is totally not for you. Seriously, not for you. It's kind of a slow, boring movie in my opinion. I didn't find myself scared or uncomfortable. However, with it being as old as it is, I can see it being scary for the time period it was made, but again, I don't feel this movie stands up over time. As our main character, Harry Powell, who was portrayed by the actor Robert Meacham, is a priest, and this priest feels he talks to God. So why not have a little devil here? Sadly, this messed up character who does messed up things to people because God tells him it's okay is the extent of the horror of this movie. To me, anyways. I mean, he does do some messed up things to people, but being 1955, you don't see it happen. It's more alluded and you see the aftermath of things. It doesn't do things the way horror movies do now. I felt that the plot was extremely slow and drug on at many points. And I do wonder if this film was greatly affected by what was the gotta look at my notes. A code to govern making of motion and talking pictures, which greatly influenced horror movies from 1930s to 1968. So this movie was in that chunk of time that horror movies really suffered because there was a lot of Christian regulation in what's said and done in horror movies at this time. It could have gone a completely different route if there weren't these rules and regulations on what you can say and do in horror movies, or in movies in general, I should say. But these regulations greatly affected the horror genre in this time period. There had to be some sort of ethical and moral lesson given through horror for it to actually be made, and then you couldn't show a lot of things in this time period. I feel like that is one reason in the 70s you get a lot more gore and pushing boundaries, because people were finally allowed to do more of that. So this is going to be a shorter review because I really don't have much to say. There's not much to evaluate. I can't really get behind this movie, as you can tell. I do like to try and give credit where credit is due. I just did not love this movie at all. So I am gonna just give it 1 zombie out of 5, which don't feel like I've really done that in a while. A 1. But there you have my thoughts on The Night of the Hunter. I look forward to this year's 31 Days of Horror. I hope that you do as well. If you're new here, please subscribe if you like horror movies and if you like art. If you like my art videos, they will be back in November. with the regular Zodiac content. We're almost done with those. With all that being said, I look forward to the countdown of 31 Days of Horror and share my favorite movies of this year with you. So from my dark heart to yours, have a wonderful day and please don't die before my next video.